afternoon, soccer fans, and welcome to Varsity Field here in Swampscott. The administration and athletic department from both schools welcome you to today's game featuring the visiting Saugus and the Big Blue Swampscott. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
And welcome back, folks, to another soccer game here with the Saugus Sackums and the Swampscott Big Blue, with 40 minutes in the first half that we'll be seeing starting just momentarily. These teams are huddling up, figuring out their game plan, and then they're going to set their positions as the refs begin to come out onto the field. You can now see the teams begin to split up. Some going on the field and some going towards the bench. Now the Saugus Sackums will be breaking up. Sorry, my bad, that was the Saugus Sachems. As Malad Sasson will be taking the middle with the ball. The game shall begin on the ref's call, which should be as soon as the Sachems end their huddle. Now with the huddle ended, you can see the Sachems approaching their positions on the field. And the game is off, as we can see the ball be immediately passed from Arredondo to Spelios. Spelios to Simon Ramos. Simon Ramos' intended pass for Arredondo goes off of another player's foot, and the ball's going to be given to Spelios for a throw, and he's going to immediately be throwing over to Pittman. Pittman's pass for Bailey didn't go so well, as the goalie had to receive it, with Croft on the sideline battling against one of the Sachems players. Croft throwing it in, throws it over to Costa Shub. The ball's up and the Sachems have it now. Swampscott's going to take it back immediately as Arredondo is getting attacked by three of the players, but Matt Pittman's going to kick it out. Simon Ramos now with the ball, yet again being bombarded by the Sachem players. Ramos trying to catch up, doesn't as the player passes. Spelios is able to be faster than their player. And we're back immediately with number 15, Giron, passing over as the ball goes way up into the air. Olberg is going to be grabbing it. Olberg looking for the roll, rolls it over to the side as intended pass for Croft went just a little too far for the Sachem's players, because now Croft will be throwing it in. Ball intended for Sasson goes a fail as the Sachems get it. The Sachems being very aggressive towards Swampscott. End up getting the ball so close to their goal, but Olberg is going to just grab it right before they can, as he's going to roll it immediately over to Spelios. Spelios might pass to Sasson. He did pass to Sasson, but Ramos is going to be receiving as the ball rolls out. Simon Ramos throws it in after Marquez throws it out. Ball almost went out again, but Ramos had saved it. Ball saved by Kimbrough from Ramos. Not saved, ball received by Ramos from Kimbrough as Arredondo's trying to get the ball from number 4, Marquez, as Simon Ramos takes it. Just a cluster of people. Number 14 is going to take it and pass it way over to his teammate upfield, but it doesn't go right as Croft takes it after multiple headers. Now upfield into the Swampscott's defensive territory. Shub gets the ball multiple times after passing it to Croft. Croft's intended pass for Henry Ramos shows no avail as the ball goes over to the Sachems. The Sachems do indeed lose it quickly, as now the ball is back with Swampscott. Number 14 being blocked by many players, isn't able to do much, so he finds a teammate to pass to. On the sideline, the ball's going to end up rolling out. The Sachems are going to be here for the throw-in, as the ball was headed by a Swampscott player, that player being Malad Sasson. Sorry, that was Croft, Nico Croft, not Malad Sasson. Malad Sasson's a little bit up, and he almost got that header. But the ball will now end up with the Sachems. The Sachems able to go all the way to the sideline as it's going to roll out. Spelios is going to get the throw-in. Throw-in above Ramos over to Sasson. Trying not to get the ball to go out. The ball does. As a Swampscott player is going to be able to grab it. That player being Sasson for the throw-in. Pass over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough back to Sasson. Now number 14 from the Sachems gets it, after Arredondo almost receives after a missed pass. Croft blocks it many times, and eventually Shub is able to block another player from moving any further, so that player has to find a teammate to pass to, teammate being number 15, Giron. After many passes, it's yet again with number 10. Number 10 passes it up Spelios, and Ramos now take the ball. Arredondo being on the ball at all times, staying focused on it, does not want to go away. Simon Ramos with the ball now, eventually makes it over to Swampscott player Pittman. Pittman to Kimbrough. Kimbrough over to Shub. Shub's able to get it high in the air, but that means the Sachems will be able to get it again, as Bailey's going to run after it and let Olberg get it at this time, as Croft on the sideline will be receiving. Ball all the way in Swampscott's territory now. Swampscott's trying to get it out of there. It seems as if that's a very special thing there for Shub. Sorry, that was not Shub, that was Pittman. The 7 and 1s look very similar. the ball now being thrown in by the Sachems. Sachem still has the ball. The ball being very close to Olberg. Gives a chance to score. That score is going to be done by, I do believe, hang on 1 second for clarification. That was a great goal there, but I think that might have been from number 10. That was a goal by number 18, Xavier Martinez, senior captain for the team.
Saugus goal scored by number 18, Xavier Martinez.
The ball all the way with Olberg on the, sorry, not the Saugus, the Swampscott defensive side. As Spelios is going to be taking the ball, he's going to be moving up. A goal within under 10 minutes is not a good sign here for Swampscott, as this does not usually happen in their games. Ramos is trying to just get the ball back, but they can't, as Miranda's going to be taking it. He's going to try to pass it up to number 14, but Spelios isn't going to let that happen. As Spelios almost lets the offensive team get a kick from the corner, a corner kick. He kicks it out, and eventually he's going to make its way over to Shub. Shub to Henry Ramos. Henry Ramos lets it go out. Sachem's throwing. Up in the air. Ball multiple times. Now with Arredondo. Passes over to Kimbrough. The ball, after being passed to Ramos, is going to end up with the Sachems. Swampscott is going to try to take it back, and the ball's going to roll out after Spelios tried getting it. Spelios now being able to throw the ball in. Will try and look for a teammate. Looking for a teammate now. We find out that that teammate was number 17, Kimbrough, as the ball went out after a faint chest bump from Kimbrough. The ball, after being thrown in by the Sachems, is already back in the Swampscott's legs, as a tried shot on goal is blocked by one of these Swampscott players. Malad Sasson jumps up very high and actually takes out one of the players with the whistle being blown. As the ball's kicked about 60 yards down the field, Malad Sasson almost in the intended target, getting it. Simon Ramos for the throw-in. Over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough to Ramos. Ramos able to make it up, looking at Arredondo like he knows what they're doing, as the Sachems' plan may have been uncovered by Swampscott, as I just said beforehand, because they are able to actually get up and into their territory closer and closer, but Malad Sasson had missed the intended pass, but that's fine because Simon Ramos took it back for Kimbrough just to miss the shot on goal. He didn't really miss, but the goalie had caught it. As the goalie punts it up in the air about 40 yards, we get to see a header from Croft over to Spelios. Spelios able to make the ball go up and deep into their territory. The goalie is yet again going to be getting it, and it's kicked way up. As the goalie has no number, we are unable to differentiate him from the rest of the players. So it will be hard just to figure out his name, but we're just going to be calling him the goaltender from now on. As Saugus' goaltender almost would have received that ball unless one of the players had blocked it. The Sachems are going to be able to move up very fast, which is not a good thing for Swampscott, but Ramos kicks it over to Spelios. Spelios going through multiple players at once. He's going to try to take the ball back from Miranda. He's just not going to be able to. As Miranda passed over to Martins. Martins passed way up the field, and whistle blown.
On the ground to James. Look at James. No, on the ground.
As a free kick there from Spelios. He's able to try and make it up. Intended target, most likely either being Sasson or Ramos, is going to end up getting headed by Miranda. As Shub's going to be kicking it over to Croft. After juking many players, Croft is going to get it up and over to Henry Ramos, but the ball's going to go out for a throw-in here from Croft. Croft over to Shub. Shub able to make it way high up at 2 double kicks in the air as the ball goes out. The ball does not go out until a header from Croft. A throw in here for the Sachems could be what they need to get back in the Swampscott zone. As the throw-in appeared, we were able to see the intended target being number 7. 7 is also not on the roster, which is not a good thing. As Sachems are able to get up close, and it hits the bar on top, stopping them from getting a goal as it was just a little bit too high. As if it was just any lower, the goal would have been secured and scored 100%. As Ramos is on the side, he's going to kick the ball far up, about 30 yards over to Sasson. But the Sachems are going to be able to get the ball. Whistle blown. And Spelios is going to be able to get this ball for a free kick here. As the ball's going to go way high up over to Sasson, the Sachems end up receiving. The Sachems receiving. Number 6, Martin, is going to be able to take the ball. After many passes back and forth, the Swampscott are going to be able to take it. As a whistle's blown, Shub is going to be able to take control of the ball. Question is, will he be able to kick it far enough and good enough for Swampscott to get a chance to score a goal here? The answer looked like a yes, as Ramos is going to take it. He's going to kick it way high up, and it is going to end up going out. As the goaltender is going to be looking to kick it off here. About 15 minutes into the game, and we already have a goal, as I previously mentioned, from Saugus. It was number 18, Xavier Martinez. But no goals from Swampscott and only one attempt. As Simon Ramos' attempt wasn't very good because it didn't really go near, or didn't really shoot at the goal as it went above everything. The kick itself, though, upwards was very impressive, as Ramos yet again will now be taking the ball. Aaron Mondo is going to pass it over to Ramos. Ramos over to Sasson. Sasson looking for a goal. Shoots it too far left. And the ball's going to roll out as the goaltender is going to be receiving the ball. And it's up. The ball is going to be headed by Costa Shub. Headed yet again after a far kick, and Spelios is going to try to take it now. Spelios kicking it up. Sasson now taking it as a whistle's blown. Spelios here for the throw-in, I do believe. I was wrong. window here for the kick. As the players try to get it over, another whistle's blown. As a pretty good attempt there from Swampscott happened. We now unfortunately have a player down. The ball is going to go over to the goaltender now. As he's going to begin to wind up his kick. He's going to shoot for it. As the ball is going to be going 40 yards into Spelios' head. As Simon Ramos is going to take it after that very small header. He's going to pass it over to Pittman. Pittman all the way across the field over to Henry Ramos, and the ball is going to roll out for a throw-in here for the Sachums. That throw-in is just going to be another throw-in almost, but yes, I'm correct. Yes, Asipenko was almost able to stop that. He did try, but it didn't work out as he intended it to. As the ball is going to be able to make itself way upfield. Another throw-in is going to be happening. And the ball is up. As we can now see the ball eventually make its way into Oberg's possession through I do believe, through an out of bounds from Sachums. As the Sachums take it back yet again, playing so aggressively that Swampscott can barely keep up. Oberg's going to be able to take it as a whistle's blown. Sachums yet again end up with the ball after a big old boot there from Oberg. Swampscott's trying to fight to get it back. As they eventually do, the ball is going to be able to make its way into the offensive side for Swampscott, which is just the defensive side for Saugus. As Spelios tries to get the ball multiple times, he's going to end up rolling out, and he will get the ball. With the ball being about everywhere at this point in time, it's almost going to go out. And Spelios is going to actually be kicking it out. Yet again, we get to see another throw-in from the Sachums. And that throw-in will be futile as Swampscott gets it and kicks it out. That kick there from Bailey was a little bit too strong. The ball ended up going to the stands for the second time this game. With the throw-in, intended pass for number 2, who is also, number 7, who is not on our roster, not number 2.
Drop.
The ball goes into the stands for the 3rd time this game, back-to-back. As Simon Ramos looks for who to throw it into, he finds Spelios as the ball yet again goes into the stands. That is 3 times in a row. As another throw is going to occur, we can't be seeing the ball go into the stands very fast at this moment. But Simon Ramos ended up keeping the boot inside of the zone. As the ball's making its way up over into Saugus' territory. Swampscott's going to have to find it, but it was too bad because the goalie had gotten it. As Spelios is going to be taking the ball, trying to get it over to Arredondo. Arredondo able to keep control of where it is, even though he doesn't have it. The ball's going to make its way up over to Ramos, and Pittman and Olberg tried to stop it, but he just couldn't. Is getting ready to kick it far. He does it. It goes about 50 yards before being stopped by the Sachems. As Spellers is able to take it, a tumble occurs between 2 players. Whistle will be blown. Swampscott's going to be able to take the ball, an opportunity for a goal here with this kick. A goal could be scored. Chubb kicking it off over to Arredondo and Asapenko. It actually ends up with Kimbrough and Henry Ramos. As the ball makes its way back to Max Asapenko. Passing over for a long out-of-range situation. As the kick there from Arredondo was just too much for the ball. As the goaltender is going to be kicking it yet again. Kicks it this time about 44 yards. As 4 headers in a row occur, we're able to see the Sachems eventually end up with it. As the Sachems take the ball, we just saw number 19, Miranda, kick it far up, that is. As they're all congregating in one spot, the ball is actually going to make its way up over to Asapenko. Ball's going to be making its way up and over. And it's going to be Swamp. Actually, it's a little hard to tell, but now it is going to be the Sachems holding the ball. The Sachems being able to slowly and surely make it up by passing back and forward. Nearing Olberg now. The ball can't be put in a net right now. If the teams are just able to coordinate what they're doing, after multiple jumps and a spin move just came from number 10. The ball is going to be the Sachems as Luis Faria is dropping it. The ball is actually going to be possession of Swampscott. We'll be able to see Henry Ramos for the kick here. Ramos kicking it like 40, 50, something like that yards. The ball is going to be recovered by Mawad Sasson.
Time, 1 on.
It's going to be kicked out. Spelios is going to throw it in. Over to Arredondo. Arredondo is able to slide it and kick the ball over as a whistle's blown. The ball is going to be taken now by Arredondo for a free kick. As the players line up to form a wall to protect them from the goal. To protect the ball from the goal, that is. Arredondo shall kick momentarily. And the kick is off. And it's almost a goal, but it just hit his finger, so it was not. Pittman was able to stop it as the ball goes out yet again. This time not into the stands, but on the sidewalk next to it. As the ball is now back in after a very short corner kick. It's going to be close, but the ball is evidently not going to roll in. It's going to go just a bit too far. And the goaltender will be getting the ball. He's going to be winding up, figuring out who to pass to, and kicking it. As he's going to be kicking it way high up. Swampscott's going to be able to stop it from making it go any farther. As Spelios tries to get the ball back, Simon Ramos is going to find it. And he's going to lose it immediately after, though, as the Sachums end up back with it. As the Sachums still hold the ball. Going to be moving up and close towards Swampscott's territory. As the ball nears around the 10-yard line, they're kicking it up and over. After heading to get it out of there, Spelios is going to take it. He's going to kick it far up, about 40 yards from the position of the ball previously. But the Sachums are yet again going to end up with it relentless. Spelios and Arredondo tried blocking. Simon Ramos is going to end up with it after a pass. Asapenko tried finding the ball, but was unable to do so. As the ball was booted in Simon Ramos' direction, it's going to eventually end up with Spelios. As the ball was kicked out. Then we see a throw in here from Simon Ramos. Throw in there from Simon Ramos intended for Mass Asapenko didn't go so well, as the Sachums now have it yet again. The ball is going to be rolling out. For a Sachums throw in. And they're going to be doing a timeout right now with basically 10 minutes left on the clock. With only one goal right now by number 18, Xavier Martinez. We will be coming back momentarily. as we're going to be coming out of that timeout right about now. They're going to be immediately going for the throw in here with the Sachems. A throw in here now from Spelios is going to be able to shove, as the ball's going to end up getting out of the Saugus territory for just moments, as the ball is now actually entering Swampscott's. The ball's going to be passed backwards, and Swampscott's almost going to receive it. Swampscott eventually does, as Croft is going to be taking it to the sideline. Passes over to Arredondo. Pass way up high with a whistle blown. As they go for it now, going to be moving their way up into Swampscott's deep territory. Ulberg is going to rush out to grab it, and he's going to do so successfully, as he's now looking for a teammate to roll it to. He finds Simon Ramos, who's going to kick it up and over. Intended target Spelios, but the other number 6 is going to take it up. That was Martins. The ball still being held by the Sachems. It's number 7 passes it back, and Arredondo takes it with a quick pass over to Spelios. Arredondo takes it again after his pass was stopped. Making its way up with Asapenko. The goalie is going to be kicking it way out of proportion and about 40 yards up. With a massive kick there from the Sachems. The whistle is going to be blown. And it is also going to be ignored as the players just continue playing. Ball's going to be moving up into Swampscott's territory, but it's going to be stopped immediately. I do believe that is Henry Ramos. Ball going up yet again. Almost gets into Matt Asapenko's way, and he's almost able to take it, but he ends up not doing so. As Spelios has a chance here to grab the ball, and it does not, because that was over to Simon Ramos. Simon Ramos only being able to hold the ball for a minute is going to end up back with Gyron. Ulberg now has it after a quick and fast kick there. As this will take it up far. They're going to be able to do something here by making it go over into Swampscott's territory. The Sachems yet again, but it's going to go out and almost into the stands yet again. As the ball yet again in the Swampscott's territory is going to roll out this time, as Matt Pittman is going to be recovering it. Never mind, he's going to be giving it to Ulberg. Ulberg trying to figure out who to give the ball to. Figures out who, and it was going to be Kimbrough, but eventually Simon Ramos ended up with it. Henry Ramos now with the ball, passes over to Pittman. Pittman with a header, gives it to Shub. Shub gives it over to Kimbrough. Sachems take it. as number 19 has it, Carlos Miranda. Eventually, Sam Wabnu is going to end up with it. Sorry, that was Dan. His name is Dan Wabno. As the ball is still with Swampscott, Arredondo takes it and passes it over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough passes it up, but the ball is going to be taken by the Sachems. The ball taken by Miranda. It's going to be passed over, but Henry Ramos is going to take it. The ball being held now by the Sachems. Still is a pass, and it goes through the field goal. A little too high there. They might want to aim a little bit lower next time if they want to try to score the second goal of the game. As the ball is yet again kicked off by Olberg. He looks for a teammate and he doesn't find him. He actually finds the enemy team. As the Sachems yet again take the ball. I feel like I've said that a million times. As a massive boot there from one of these Sachem players ends up going out. Olberg is yet again going to be kicking it. He's going to pass it over to Simon Ramos. Simon Ramos goes for the long kick, and it ends up yet again with the Sachems for just a second there before Kimbrough takes it back and passes over to Spelios. Spells to Arredondo. Arredondo to Shub. Shub able to make his way up. As a whistle's blown, they're going to ignore it as they keep going up. The Sachems now have it. Swampscott in possession. Henry Ramos kicks it forwards. Swampscott holding it just for a few seconds there before the Sachems take it again. As Swampscott yet again now has it before the Sachems take it again. The Sachems being on top of their game today is going to be caught by Olberg after an attempted shot on goal. As the ball is going to be moving up. It's going to go out either on Dan Wabno, but I don't believe so, as we're going to be seeing Spelios throw this in. As the ball is going to go out yet again. This time it was on Dan Wabno. As the goalie is going to be able to yet again kick this ball. As the last 2 minutes of the game are now here, the refs will begin to calculate the time themselves. Last 2 minutes of this first half, I mean. Not this game, because there still are a second half to go through. As the ball ends up with the Sachems again at the 35-yard line. They make it up close to the goal line, but there's no one there as the ball's going to roll out on the Sachems. Getting ready to kicks the ball off, and it's going to go all the way down the field before the Sachems take it. Whistle is going to be blown. As it seems similar to a penalty kick here. Seeing number 7 kick this, who is yet again not on the roster. Not number 7. as Olberg's able to save it from going in. And this half is now over, folks, with the score being 1-0 Saugus, and not much else happening other than that, except for the ball going into the stands 4
And
times.
that's the end of the first half, ladies and gentlemen, with the score. Saugus 1, Big Blue 0.
And we will catch you back momentarily. And we're back after the first half of the game. As I previously had mentioned, it was 1-0. We're going to be getting back immediately into it with number 11 getting knocked down. As the game will pause for just a few moments, we'll be back with you in just a second. As the Sachems end up losing the ball to, I do believe, that was cost a shove. The Sachems are going to actually take it back before Swampscott was able to get it out of there. Malad Sasson, being surrounded by 4 players right now, is going to be able to find Spelios. Spelios able to get quick upfield and try to pass it over to Malad Sasson. The ball is stopped by Pagliocco. As the ball is moving up into Swampscott's territory, which is not a good thing for them. It almost rolls out, but it's stopped by Simon Ramos, who's going to be giving it a big kick over to Arredondo. Eventually, Malad Sasson is going to come into contact with the ball before passing it over to Croft and back to him. Malad Sasson kicking it over to Shub. Shub surrounded by players, tries to kick it back to Malad Sasson, but it's going to end up rolling out, as we're going to be seeing the goalie Pagliocco take it. And it's off. As the ball goes far, it is stopped by Swampscott as Arredondo takes it. Arredondo able to get it over to Spelios eventually. Spelios able to come up around the curve very quickly. Goes through the legs of Malad Sasson over to number 21, Shub. Doesn't work out so well, but they have a second chance to redeem themselves for a goal, but it's kicked up about 40 yards. But Bailey tries to put a stop to that as Kimbrough takes the ball. Kimbrough passes over to Croft. Croft yet again taking the ball. The ball's gonna roll out. Whistle's blown as Arredondo holds the ball. We're going to be seeing, I think, something similar of a sub out here after Croft is going to be taken off the field. Max Asapenko will be going in for Croft. As Arredondo takes the ball, whistle's going to be blown. Arredondo passes it over. Tries to get the ball. Malad Sasson wants to redeem himself after not getting the ball last time. Passes back to Arredondo. As the ball's going to go out, we could be seeing a corner kick here. That was a corner kick, but they just go for the short thing as it's going to be up. And it's so close to being in after a header from one of the Swampscott players almost got it in. They're trying relentlessly to get it in after we've already seen 3 attempts from Swampscott in just the past 5 minutes. As yet again, for the 3rd time in this half, a player is down, or should I say 2 players are down. We'll be back in just a short few moments. As both players have now gotten up, both of them will now be walking off the field. As the players will be subbed in, we'll be seeing Flack come in for the Big Blue and Oliveira come in for the Sachums. As Olberg, no, I'm sorry, not Olberg, as Pagliocco receives the ball, he's going to be kicking it up. He eventually is able to make it over to the 50-yard line with the ball being passed between many players. As the ball makes its way into Swampscott's territory, the Sachums have a chance now to score the 2nd goal of this game. But Shub is going to just boot it out of there. The full roster, it'll be much easier to commentate the game. Thank you to our athletic director, Kelly Wolf. as now we're able to see the ball on the side kicked by one of the players. It's now going to end up with number 3 being Feria as the ball goes way too far to the left. As now we're going to be seeing it thrown in from Swampscott. Receiving will be Shub. Shub being blocked by a player has no choice but to pass over to Henry Ramos. Henry Ramos over to Asapenko. Asapenko over to Shub. And for the 5th time this half, another player is down. We'll be back in just a few short moments. And they're up. Those were indeed a few short moments, as now we're able to see Simon Ramos with the ball. Simon Ramos passed it over to Flack. Flack over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough over to Henry Ramos. Henry Ramos looking for Asapenko, doesn't find him because the ball finds the Sachums, but eventually Henry Ramos ends up back with the ball. He gives it over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough able to get through 3 players as Asapenko tries to set up one of the players for a goal. As a whistle was blown for illegal holding, but the players aren't paying attention as a goal is almost scored by Spelios. As the ball's going to go out, we're going to be able to see, I'm pretty sure, Pagliocco take it. Pagliocco is going to take it. Looking for a player. The player's looking for the ball. It's going to be all the way over to number 11. Number 11 being Sesko. Sesko is being fought off by Shub as the ball goes out. The ball is going to be thrown over to number 2. Number 2 being Paula. As we're going to be seeing Henry Ramos end up with the ball. Abraham Costa is going to be taking it. As Abraham Costa, specifically from the Sachums, not to get him mixed up with Costa Shub from the Big Blue, is going to be kicking it. And it's up, and it's a little too high. And the ball is going to end up going past the fence. As Olberg will now be taking the ball for I do believe, a kick. As the goalie kicks it up, it goes only about 30 yards as it's immediately taken yet again by the Sachums for Olberg just to rush back out and grab it. Olberg looking for the roll, decides it's time for Simon Ramos to shine, but he's going to pass over to Kimbrough immediately. Kimbrough loses the ball and it's going to go back to Ramos. Simon Ramos accidentally just gives it over to one of the enemy players, as now we see Abraham Costa end up with the ball. As a very good attempt there from number 11, Sesko, to score a goal on the Big Blue. Olberg was just there and it went a little bit too far right. As now taking the ball is going to be number 14. Never mind, not number 14. We're going to be seeing Henry Ramos take the ball for the Big Blue. I was wrong. That was actually Olberg. 3 players decided to give the ball to one another. As now we can see many things happening in the middle here with many Swampscott players and many Sachums players. Is eventually going to end up in Swampscott territory with Sesko. Sesko with the ball. Going to pass over to one of his teammates. Passed over to Christiana Dean as the ball ends up going out on Miranda. as they actually go for a corner kick, as it was not out on Miranda, it was out on the big blue. The corner kick here could secure the second goal of the game from the Sachems. As the ball just goes a little too far and gets past all the Sachem players. Big Blue is going to be able to take it, as Olberg is going to have it. He immediately passes over to Simon Ramos. Simon Ramos passes it up and over. It's going to be with Milad Sasson now. Milad Sasson over to Spelios. Back to Sasson, back to Spelios. Spelios running for the ball, eventually makes it there. Passes back to Sasson. Sasson tried to pass it over to Asapenko, but there were just too many players in the way. As Pagliocco takes the ball, it's going to be going very high up. And we just saw Kimbrough give it a header, giving it over to Arredondo. Arredondo back to Kimbrough. Kimbrough back to Arredondo. Arredondo passing it over to Simon Ramos. He's going to be kicking it up over to Spelios. Spelios is going to kick it up, trying to get it to Milad Sasson. But it seems as if Ferreira was just too fast for Sasson, but the ball eventually goes out, and Sasson's able to get a throw in. As the throw in there from Sasson almost proved futile. They're just going to be giving the ball over to the Sachems. As Pagliocco takes the ball. He's going to redo the kick, as he was just told by the refs to redo it. As now the kick is up and in the air. It's going to eventually make its way back to Swampscott immediately with Spelios. Ball's going to eventually roll out as well, as Pagliocco takes it again. As Pagliocco is going to back up and wind up for the kick. We're going to see him getting it way upfield, but we're going to be seeing immediately Spelios isn't going to allow that to happen, as he's going to be taking it up again. Ball close to rolling out does, as it is going to be a throw in here for the Sachems. Spelios on the tail of whoever's holding the ball all the time is eventually going to make its way over to Swampscott's side. Simon Ramos is going to kick it off and over to another player. Billy Spelios' header. Ball nearing the goal a little bit too close for comfort. The ball is going to go in for the second goal of the game. That was number 10 for the goal. Number 10, number 10 being Abraham Costa. That was a good goal there from Abraham Costa, and that is the second goal of the game as well, meaning that Swampscott hasn't scored a single goal yet. As the two people who have scored goals are Xavier Martinez and Abraham Costa now. That is a very good thing indeed for the Saugus team, as they're going to get right back into it. We can already see the ball getting a throw in here from Swampscott. The throw-in eventually ends up with the Sachems, and a whistle's blown. As the Sachems are going to have a opportunity here. This will be a kick from number 7. Number 7 being Ferreira. As the ball's going to be immediately given to Arredondo and then over to Sasson. Sasson's on that ball. He's going to be able to get to it. And the ball almost going out. Isn't going to go out, and is going to be able to make it a setup here for the goal. It's directly in the center. Shub and all these Swampscott players have an opportunity here as Shub is going to be passing it over to Dan Wabno. And the ball is up and away from Arredondo, and it's into the stands. Yet again, that's the 6th time this game and the 1st time this half. As the ball's going to be thrown in from Henry Ramos there. We're going to be seeing it over to Shub. Shub over to Arredondo. Arredondo trying to pass it somewhere. Arredondo passes it over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough over to Simon Ramos. Simon Ramos passes it up. He's looking there for Spelios, but Spelios is being attacked by many players right now as Simon Ramos ends up with it again. Passes over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough trying to find someone, eventually lets the ball get into the legs of Miranda. The ball's going to be kicked all the way up to Swampscott's 10-yard line. And Oberg tries to slide tackle, and he takes the ball in between his legs. The ball's going to go out. The ball being given over to Oberg. He's going to find a place to put it. And the ball is up. And the Sachems already have possession, but not for too long because Swampscott kicks it all the way into the offensive side for them. As the goaltender Pagliocco is going to be taking it immediately after a header from a teammate. As Swampscott in their territory now has the ball. The Sachems will be taking it right back as the ball is actually going to be going out. The ball is going to be rolled over to Swampscott as they have a free kick right here. This is going to be Simon Ramos. Simon Ramos kicks the ball up, and it's over, and it was headed by, I do believe that was James Kimbrough. That was headed by Matt Pittman, and he actually ran over to the ball in less than 5 seconds. But Costa Shub is right there. The Sachems are going to have it, but it's going to be Pagliocco taking the ball yet again. Ball kicked over to number 4, being Marquez, as the ball's going to go out. As people in the stands are very happy to see this, specifically the Sachem fans. As the ball is going to be making its way up and over to the sideline. We're going to be seeing a throw-in here. A short throw-in, and one not expected from one of the Sachem players. Swampscott's going to be able to kick it up. As the ball almost went out there yet again, Sachem still has possession. Sachem's going to kick it way into Swampscott's territory, and it's going to go out yet again. As Henry Ramos is going to be able to take the ball. He's waiting for the opportunity to throw it in. And he finds that opportunity and passes it over to Dan Wabno. As the ball is now closing in on the sideline here. We could be seeing it go out in just a second notice. But the ball is going to be closing in on the goal instead, as it's going to go out, and we're going to be seeing a corner kick here. This corner kick from Miranda could do miraculous things, as Swampscott is able to get it out of there quickly and actually pretty good at doing so, as Oberg catches the ball. Oberg kicks it way up, and Wobno is on it, as it's going to go out yet again. As the ball is going to be Shubs now, making his way up and over. We can now see many of the players passing between as the Sachem ends up with it. As the ball is really close to Simon Ramos now, he has a chance to steal it away, but the Sachems just won't allow it as it gets close to the goal. Our previous goal scorer, Abraham Costa, had a chance there, only being blocked by one player, but chose not to take it. As Asapenko is able to get the ball out of there, the ball just goes straight back into their territory. As it's still in Swampscott territory now. They're still passing it around, and the shot on goal goes just a little too far. Either that or it was a pass. But Oberg's going to be able to take the ball. As Oberg kicks it around 40 yards, taking it immediately. Swampscott's going to have to do something here in these last 15 minutes to step up their game, because they have gotten close to scoring a goal in the first part of this half, but they haven't done so since. As it's going to go out yet again. The Sachems throw it in. Being crowded by many of the Swampscott players, Sachems are overwhelmed. As Asapenko tried taking the ball, he did so unsuccessfully, as the Sachems end just back up with it. As the ball is up and over, Oberg is going to be able to steal it. As the Sachems pass it back and forth, unable to give Swampscott even a turn in it. As I say that, I eat my own words, because now Costa Shub has the ball. As a header from Swampscott accidentally gives it over to the Sachems. We're able to see Kimbrough take it and pass it all the way up and over to Spelios, but Pagliocco gets it before Spelios can shoot. Pagliocco with a missile up and into the air. Gives it over to Henry Ramos. And the ball goes out of bounds on Henry Ramos. Speaking of him, yet again, there he is. Right next to the ball, has a chance to get it, and he ends up not doing it because Bailey's going to get that chance. Tries to kick it out, but the Sachems are just too powerful at the current moment in time to do so, as Oberg gets it out of there. Passed over to Asapenko. Asapenko kicks it up, and it accidentally goes out. As the ball's going to be thrown in there for the Sachems, they have it now up and close to the goal. They have a chance, but they can't kick it. It went between his legs multiple times there. We could have been seeing a second goal from Martinez. As Oberg is going to take the ball after it went out of bounds. He's going to kick it far, around 45 yards, but the Sachems are going to end up with it. As now Spelios is getting close to the goal. This could be an opportunity for the Big Blue, but it ends up rolling out. As a corner kick there from Swampscott ends up being futile, as it will roll out. It will actually roll out on the Big Blue, I do believe. Oh, this is, never mind. That is going to be a timeout. They're going to be having a timeout, and the score being 2-0. The Sachems will be back to you in just a second. And we're back. As I was right, it was out on the Big Blue, as the goalie Pagliocco is going to be taking it. As gestures from number 10 make it seem as if it was going to him, as it was. Pass intended for number 10 was unsuccessful, though, as it went short. The ball still being able to be with the Sachems, though, is miraculous, as it is no longer with the Sachems because it went so far up that it's going to be due for a throw-in, which will be from the Sachems. But it's going to be all the way back at the 50-yard line, as Dan Wobno had a chance to get it just there. It's going to be Arredondo now with the chance. Unsuccessful. Kimbrough's going to be able to get it, though. As many passes happens in such a short amount of time. When we're seeing Henry Ramos take the ball after shove and pass it over to Dan Wobno. It's going to be slide tackled out. We get to see a throw in here from Shub. As the ball goes out again, but this time, never mind, we still are going to be seeing Shub throw it in. As now we get to see Henry Ramos throw it in. 3 throw-ins in such a short amount of time. As Shub is going to be able to do a free kick here from the side. It's going to go over. Close to the goal, but caught by Pagliocco. As the crowd to go wild. We're going to be seeing over on the sideline yet again, Spelios take the ball, but it's going to be stolen by the Sachems in just a few seconds. As the ball went up high yet again, we were able to see something there, but Spelios takes charge of the ball by passing it over to Shub. Shub up and over to Sasson. And it's going to be kicked out by the Sachems. This is going to be for a corner kick. As the ball unblocked by the defenders and by the goaltender himself goes just a little bit past, so it did not really matter at that point, as the goal would not have gone in anyways. With a little less than 10 minutes, I don't know if we could be seeing a comeback here from Swampscott. I'd love to see one, but I don't know if it will be possible. As the lights turn on, we're going to be seeing some movement here in the middle. As the whistle's blown due to roughness, we're going to be seeing a free kick here. As Arredondo is going to be kicking it. As Arredondo kicks it way up, Pagliocco is going to be catching it yet again. As Arredondo takes it and passes it over to Wobno. Wobno doesn't want the ball to go out. He's going to stop it from doing so, but the Sachems are going to kick it out anyways. That is the 8th time, I do believe, the ball has gone out of the field and over towards our stands. As Arredondo is going to be here for the throw-in. He's going to throw it over to intended target, being number 15, Wobno, but it was headed by one of the Sachem players. As Swampscott kicks it up into their own territory, it is actually going to be stolen by one of the Sachem players. As Olberg's taking it after a whistle. Now we're going to be seeing something here. This is going to be nothing really, as Pagliocco kicks it far up into the 50-yard area. Over to Olberg. Olberg's going to grab the ball before it can go anywhere. Olberg's going to look for someone to give the ball to. As he goes for a long one here at 40 yards, it's going to be blocked by the Sachems. As Arredondo eventually recovers it, it's going to be passed up to Wobno. Wobno trying to give a pass over to Sasson, I believe, went too far and Pagliocco grabbed it. As that was a straight punt at about 60 yards. The ball is going to roll out after a kick, I do believe, from a Swampscott player. As a Sachem player throws it in, we're able to see action immediately occurring. As yet again another throw is going to happen, but this time it is going to be from, I think that was Simon Ramos. The ball is yet again up in the air, and now is at the 50-yard line with Milad Sasson. as something just happened. They're going to be kicking it off as Oberg is going to be catching it. The ball on the sideline now. We're going to be seeing a few of the Sachem players just pass it back and forth. As Marquez is going to be passing it over. Close to the goal now with Oberg. They're going to trip, and it's actually going to be able to be given over to Henry Ramos. Henry Ramos getting it up quick. Spelios with a chance to take charge. Goes past the ball. Sasson with a chance. Sasson with a score! The fourth score of the game for Swampscott was by Milad Sasson at about 15-ish yards, I do believe. A great goal there from Milad Sasson, the first one of the game from the Big Blue. That was good. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words. If Pagliocco were to grab that, that would not have been good at all for the Big Blue, but Sasson was able to just get it a little bit under his arm in the nick of time. As the ball is now with Pagliocco, it's going to be kicked out by Spelios. Ball's going to make its way up, and it's going to be headed out by number 11, Sesko. And the ball is almost going to go out yet again as Henry Ramos stops it from going out. It's going to be kicked up way far up. And we are now in the final 5 minutes of the game. I forgot to mention the refs will begin to calculate this on their own. The ball is going to go out. As number 7 kicks it off, Ferreira tries to give it to one of his teammates to score a goal, but Swampscott's just there to block them. As 2 players tumble, whistle's going to be blown. This is going to be a free kick here from Gyron. Never mind, he fakes the kick and gives it to number 7, which is Ferreira. The ball is going to be all the way up in their side now with Sasson looking to score another goal. Spelios has an opportunity. Pass to Sasson, back to Spelios, but they missed. As the ball is now in Swampscott's territory, they have a chance now to do something here, entering the final 2 minutes of the game. Simon Ramos being a barricade for number 19. Just blocking Miranda at all times. He had nowhere to go, so he had to pass back 20 yards to the closest teammate. As the ball now comfortably sits with 5 headers at the 23-yard line. And that makes it 6 now as Costa Shub kicks it way far up. The ball in the territory right now of the Sachems is going to be a throw-in here. Swampscott looking to get a goal in the final minute of the game. If they can do that, that means we will enter overtime for the first time this season. As the ball goes over to Spelios, he had a chance, but he just couldn't get it, and it goes out. The ball is going to be grabbed by one of these Sachem players. clock may be a little wrong, but that was due to the actual clock being off a little bit. As the game shall end any minute now. We're going to see it go out yet again. Not good for Swampscott, as Swampscott will need to score that final goal. As Costa Shub kicks it up, hoping to get it over to Sasson, eventually given to Arredondo. Arredondo to Spelios, Spelios Arredondo, Arredondo up and over. Tries to get it to Sasson, unsuccessful. Ball goes out. A throw in here from Arredondo. Intended target Sasson, doesn't make it due to a header. Costa Shub being blocked by 3 players right now is not good, as Henry Ramos kicks it way up and over to Kimbrough. A player falls over mid-jump. As the game is now over, the final score being 2-1, the Saugus Sachems versus the Swampscott Big Blue. That will be it for today's game. Make sure you like and subscribe on Big Blue Athletics so that you never miss any upcoming live stream, and check us out on Instagram at Swampscott_TV to never miss anything or anything at all on a live. Thank you, and make sure to tune in for the field hockey game coming next.